Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, this is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph Golier and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Caleb.
And I am your co-host, Joe.
And today we will be doing Super Sexy Swingin' Fan Fiction Part 3.
Damn straight. You know, I have no idea if anybody actually likes these because no one says anything, but we do them anyway.
Yeah, so if you hate it, let us know.
Yeah, well, if you like it, let us know too.
True, yeah.
The thing I'm wondering is after we get done with I don't know, I think there's 7 parts to this epic of disgusting fan fiction.
I think so.
What fan fiction we'll read after that? We would be glad to take, I think, user-submitted fan fiction, or at least stuff that people have found.
Yeah, it's weird searching this stuff up, so if you guys could do it for us, that would be great.
Yeah,
My search history is already fucked up as it is, so...
I can attest to that. I've seen your search history on your Kindle.
Yeah. All right, so...
I knew way too much about you. If you want to get a hold of us, like if you want to submit some fan fiction for us to read later, or at least for us to consider reading, you can go to our website at ultimafinalfantasy.com. There is a contact us page, and you just go ahead and fill out the form right there. You know, we did get an email last week for us to make sure that we review the Final Fantasy V sequel movie. And I just want to let all you guys know that yes, after we finish Final Fantasy V, we will have a Swingin' Sexy fan fiction episode after that. But then after that episode, we will be reviewing the Final Fantasy V movie.
Yeah, I know we said with the sequels we're going to be doing them in order after we finish the mainline series. But
that's with the games.
Yeah, with these movies, it's kind of nice to have a little filler episode.
Plus, I feel like I mean, besides the recording quality of the Spirits Within episode, I feel like that was a good episode.
Yeah,
and so I think quality wise, I don't know. I think we can continue that. And in the line with that, I actually just ordered the Final Fantasy Unlimited TV show.
Oh,
and
man.
So I don't know, what we need to do is decide whether we're going to review one episode at a time or a chunk of episodes at a time. But we're definitely going to get to that TV show.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what the TV show has to offer, I'm sure, like content-wise.
That's true. But there's hardly anything out about that TV show. Like, I don't think that many people have seen it.
Yeah.
And frankly, I remember going to FYE like 2 years ago, and that thing, like the whole thing brand new was like $30 for like the big case set, but now it's like $80.
Oh, wow.
If you go on Amazon to find the thing. So I had to get a used copy, so hopefully it works.
Yeah, that would suck.
But anyway, it's not from Amazon. I got it from some other guy, so it's coming in the mail. And the time that they said it would take was, I kid you not, 4 to 14 business days.
Yeah,
Isn't that a ridiculous gap for that shit?
Yeah, that's fairly standard on like Amazon. It'll say that, but it'll get there in like 4 days almost every time.
Well, if you order something straight from Amazon, it's 2 days.
Yeah, but if it's a seller like me and you're lazy like me, you forget about it for like 5 days and you're like, oh shit, it's late. And then you send it express.
Yeah, I should have just went on eBay.
Yeah.
Could have gotten the same thing. Of course, there's no return policy on eBay that I can understand. I know there is an eBay return policy, but I just don't want to deal with it if there's something fucked up about it.
Yeah, usually those are a pain in the ass. Like when I bought something on Newegg and it came with missing a part. Or no, it
came
the wrong,
with missing a part.
It wasn't missing a part. It was the wrong. I ordered the wrong part, and they ended up like saying, it was used, so we won't take it back. I'm like, shit. So I sold it to Cody. But
nice.
Yeah. So
was that the fucked up part that he was having problems with?
No, it's his motherboard. But yeah, that TV show. Hopefully, it'll get here within the next week.
Yep. And the Final Fantasy V movie is on YouTube. We don't have a VHS player, so we're not going to order it on VHS and watch it from there. So
Yeah, I don't even know where you can find one of those things. Maybe a pawn shop.
my father actually has a VHS player. I mean, if we really were desperate and like it was removed from YouTube, I mean, I could order it.
How long is the movie?
There's 2 parts and they're both an hour.
Oh,
So I think it's like a 2-hour thing if you watch them both.
oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever. We'll get to it and we'll figure it out, I guess, from there. There's other things. There's other pieces of media that the Final Fantasy universe has that I would love to like go through, but most of it's in Japanese.
Yeah,
Like there's sequels to. There's a novelization of Final Fantasy II, and then I think there's a sequel in like manga form of Final Fantasy II that would be interesting to order and explore. I only have one Japanese friend that's here in the States right now, and I don't know. I would need his help, and I would have to probably fucking pay him to get him to like help me go through that thing and translate it.
yeah. Well, that's not worth it.
We might be able to. I'm sure someone out there has fan translated it. I just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, and hopefully Square hasn't either.
Yeah, the manga sequel to 12 also was like. That's out there, but that one's I think there is a fan translation of it that I found. Not that I read it, but I found it.
I see.
So besides that, you can have I done the plugs yet for the websites and stuff? Okay. You can find us at ultimatefinalfantasy.com. You can also go to facebook.com/ultimatefinalfantasy. You can find us on Twitter at UFF Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube with our channel Ultima Final Fantasy, of course, which is also part of our Google Plus, which we don't look at, but you know it's part of YouTube, so we see the notification. So any of those things, you can of course follow us there. On our YouTube channel, there's actually I've been doing for the past couple of days. I installed Final Fantasy XI because I feel like we need some kind of base knowledge in 11 and 14.
Right.
So I started doing a Let's Play. It's not really a Let's Play where I show you what to do. It's a Let's Play of Joe figures out what the fuck he's doing in this game.
Yeah.
Of Final Fantasy 11. And so there's parts 0, which I'm installing the game, part 0.5, in which I'm installing the updates for the game and complaining about it. And then there's part 1, in which I create a character and then I have problems finding this specific person I have to talk to in the fucking game. And so you can go out and enjoy those things. I talk through the whole thing, so you can listen to me some more if you like my voice so much. Or we should be having a Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play on our YouTube channel soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have to cancel my ESO online thing because I haven't played it for like 2 months, and then I can afford to play 14 again. So yeah, it'll be pretty soon.
Okay, so I'll be playing 11, and Caleb will be playing 14 periodically. We're not gonna have specific times and shit when that stuff's gonna come out.
Yeah,
just because we got to deal with the games for the podcast right now
and regular life.
Yeah, and regular life, and we're quite busy. So you know, getting that shit out there is it's important, but we're not gonna like. We're not going to commit to like, you know, every day at this time, whatever.
Yeah.
The podcast comes out once a week, and that is our commitment.
Right.
And then our secondary commitment is finishing the games that we're playing for the podcast. Of course.
And then the online.
Right.
And then maybe some sleep here and there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe sometimes.
Like a tertiary.
Sometimes sleep. If you notice in these podcasts, like the beginning of the episodes are always like we're always groggy, and then by the end of the episodes we finally woke up. At least me, because every time we do these podcasts, I'm asleep right when Caleb comes over to record the podcast, and then I'm like, okay, give me an hour to wake up.
It's either he's asleep or I'm golfing, and he's like, dude, get over here.
Yeah, that happened, and that fucking pissed me off so much.
Yeah, sorry about the late episode. It was my fault.
The late episode, that was the girl pinup battle thing, yeah.
That was a fun one, but
yeah.
Very late. Very late.
All right, so besides that, do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. All righty then, let's get to the news. News. Okay, so first up in news, there was a Final Fantasy XIV gay marriage decision inspired gay pride parade that apparently happened.
Nice.
There's not much information I can find on it except that there was one, and there's a video here of a bunch of people marching in Final Fantasy XIV, which is kind of cool. It's just on let's see, there's an article here called "The Pixelated Beauty of Gamer Pride" with gamer spelled Gaymer, and yeah,
They're marching across a bridge there.
Yeah,
And then,
it's very it's very, very interesting. I think it's kind of cool though, don't you?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of annoying if I was trying to like walk through the street and like cops had it all closed off because of this parade. I'm trying to do this quest and I'm just like, fuck, man, I gotta go.
I'm not sure if it was Square-Enix itself that put up the gay pride parade or if it was a player.
I think it was a player.
You think it was a player
It was
thing?
a guild in the article. It was
Oh,
like
okay, all right.
They're like a guild leader. So it probably wouldn't have been that way, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
I honestly never even considered that. So
Well, what's the point of a gay pride parade when you have your rights already? I said, and then he got flack for in the future, I'm sure, for saying that.
yeah, just cause.
Because like the gay pride parade is like, give us our rights, give us this, whatever. We're gay, yes, you know.
True, I guess.
So like our ban lift on gay marriage here in Utah, like should there be a gay pride parade? I mean, there should be one to celebrate, certainly, but like after that,
I don't know. Well,
I don't know.
If you think
I'm not
about
gay,
it,
so I don't know. I'm sure there's other things in the
there's a
community
good
that
way.
they're going
Whenever I
for.
hear people say stuff like, "How come there's no, you know,
This is like the 20th time we talked about gay.
yeah,
Stuff on
how
this
come there's
podcast.
no American Day or like, you know how they have like Latin American Week? How come there's no American Week? Well, it's because
Well,
every week
we
is
have
American
4th of
Week.
July.
We have that too, yeah. But I mean, I've heard people say that, like, oh, how come there's not? They don't get the special. What are those? Those assemblies for Americans? It's like, well, because every fucking assembly is for Americans, other than this one that they get 2 days out of the year.
Yeah, whatever.
So it's probably something like that.
It's not that big of a deal. Certainly, gay members of the community that participated in this, they feel like they've won something, I'm sure.
Yeah, they seem pretty excited.
And so, yeah, it's good for them. We do have more information on Final Fantasy Record Keeper. Apparently, it's about a guy named Apprentice, and he's the apprentice to somebody called Dr. Mog.
And he is a Mog.
And he uses his magic. This is what we know about the game. He uses his magic to jump into paintings, basically of old Final Fantasy games, and retrieve the memories that they hold.
Assassin's Creed.
Anyway, so each painting is going to be like a dungeon inspired by the Final Fantasy game that it comes from, and then the protagonists of the Final Fantasy games will take part, of course, in your journey as apprentice. So that's cool. I'm not sure if that game is ever going to come to the States, but that's going to be on iOS and Android in Japan, at least.
Yeah.
And there is a website for the game that you can find. But it's a Japanese website, so if you don't know Japanese, you're going to be kind of lost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty and it has music, but that's it.
Yeah. Oh, and it also has the characters in 2D models.
That's
which
true.
is freaking
Yeah,
sweet.
there's a characters page that you can go through and you can see their official 2D models for each of the Final Fantasy games, including like up to 13.
Yeah, I saw Titus and Yuna as
Yeah.
2D. It's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
they look pretty good.
Yeah.
And you made a comment. What was your comment about remaking the games?
I think it would be interesting if they remade all of the later Final Fantasy games into 2D games. Like,
Right.
I'm talking like high def PSP game, right?
Right.
But still 2D. I think that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, there was that video put out of Final Fantasy 13 that was like the 2D Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
Where it looked like Final Fantasy VI in a way, and it
Yeah.
just looked amazing.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
2D, and it looked like it just suddenly felt like Final Fantasy, like
yeah, especially as we
more
know
than
it right now.
Yeah, as we're playing the 2D ones right now, the Final Fantasy has a certain feel to us
Right.
in the 2D universe. Of course, the feel of Final Fantasy changes based upon whichever system it's on at the time, doesn't it?
In a way, yeah.
Because like there's the 1, 2, and 3 on the NES.
The brutal.
They have a certain feel, and then 4, 5, and 6 have a certain feel. Of course, 6 is it takes the fantasy thing and it makes it more steampunk.
Yeah.
So
They are
6
into the
has a
steampunk.
slightly different feel than the other two. 6 is a masterpiece though, and then 7's a lot closer to 6. But there's 7, 8, and 9, which of course have their own. Like the PlayStation era, I think is the best era of Final Fantasy, and
Yeah.
that certainly has its own feel. Anyway, so this Record Keeper game, if it comes out in the States, will be very interesting. They're not sure if I can't find any information on whether it's going to be free to play, and you have to like buy shit for it, which is a possibility considering it's a mobile game, or if it's just going to be a game that you buy once, which would be nice.
Yeah. That is always nice. I'm sick of EA and their damn microtransaction shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to play this hole on Tiger Woods? Well, it's $3.99.
What?
Yeah, no,
That's real?
yeah, you have to buy.
Oh my
I spent
God.
$60 on this Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2013, and I got to a point in the single player in this tournament where I had to buy another course to play it, and it was like $4.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and there were like 20 courses.
You
that
shouldn't
I could
have
buy.
to buy the game and then buy the game again.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal. They're like, oh, well, if you want to play the whole.
I remember
game.
with Final Fantasy 13 2, they were like in discussion of like you have to buy the game, like you have to buy the ending for the game.
That's
And
bullshit.
it's like after you bought the game, are you kidding me?
That's bullshit.
Like a special edition for like I don't know how many bucks I bought the special edition for when it came out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean they did it with Dead Space also, like Dead Space 3 and 2 even. In 1 you would buy upgrades for your suit. You'd buy the sweet suit by collecting, credits. And in 2 and 3, some of them you can do that with, but in 3 there's some that you like have to buy, and they're like $3-4 for a suit. It's like it's aesthetically pleasing and that's it. So it's like, why the fuck would you buy that?
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thank
What
God.
else? What else do we have in news?
We've got that fan translation of Type-0.
Right. If you listen to Final Fantasy Union, they talked about this like yesterday, so it sucks that we have this one item of information here that we did not get out before them.
Well, we've been dominating them lately with the news, though, so feel safe with us.
Yes.
But yeah, apparently there was a Final Fantasy fan translation for Type-0, because originally when Square released Type-0 for the PlayStation Portable, they didn't have an English translation, which is bullshit because we love Final Fantasy over here.
That's true.
Give us the games. We will buy the games. I'm buying the fucking games now just to play them. So we will buy them. And anyway, this
What else would you do with the games? I like how you just said you bought the games just to play them.
Actually,
Like, what else would you do?
dude,
for 'em?
honestly, before I did this podcast, I hardly played them, but I bought them a while ago. I'm like, I must have them all.
You must have them just because
Yeah.
you like 7 and 12.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
10. I
Oh,
beat
yeah.
10 before 12.
Oh,
I
you
like,
beat 10? I didn't know you beat 10.
Yeah, I
You
did.
just played a good chunk of it. Okay.
No, I beat
Alright.
it a long time ago. I beat it the same day I beat 7.
In case you guys haven't been listening very closely, I'm the guy who plays most of the Final Fantasies.
Yeah, I play more hours of it, but I never
figured
finish
his
it.
personality was good for the podcast, though. Besides, you wouldn't want to just listen to me the whole time.
No.
Even though mostly you do.
Yeah, who would want that? All right, so apparently this group of developers was working on a translation for the game, and it was a fan translation, obviously, because they all have to love the shit out of the Final Fantasy series to dedicate thousands of hours to translating this game. And they were putting it on the PSP, and a couple months before their original release date, which was actually the day before I think it was the most recent E3, they released it. Like the main developer guy, the head of the group of guys, just threw it out and threw the patch up. And a lot of there was some backlash from the rest of the team saying, look, man, this wasn't ready. It's not time. And he kind of wanted to make a statement right before E3, I feel, is kind of what his idea was, to say, look, we're bringing this game out. And then at E3, Square-Enix makes a statement and says, oh yeah, we're bringing this to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
So then,
we remember that announcement.
Yeah. So then those guys were like, fuck. But Square Enix also said that they were releasing it for the PlayStation Vita, but they haven't said anything else about that since. So it kind of makes me feel that they merely said that because because they wanted to kind of make it seem like this is completely irrelevant now that this fan translation is even happening, because you can get it on the Vita. But since they didn't go into, releasing it on the Vita or any other announcements for it, I feel like that was the reason why they said that at that release or press release. And then basically after that, they continued to work on the game. There was talk of Square-Enix and this group of developers, kind of going in a 50-50 on the game, and like Square-Enix helping them out. And then
I think that's more of a rumor thing, but sure.
Yeah, it could have been. It was in the article, but I mean, yeah, who knows? But and then shit starts hitting the fan again, and Square-Enix sends them a letter saying they will take legal action if they don't stop, messing with the copywritten material. So then they just shut down.
I heard that there's this idea that Square Enix wasn't happy about the fan translation, like that it didn't do justice to the game, so that's why they made that announcement. I'm not sure how much truth is in that.
I don't know. I never even looked at this translation, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just basing it off of what we've heard.
Yeah,
through the grapevine.
I don't know. Certainly, it's dickish for Square Enix to make that announcement right after these people have worked on this fan translation for a long time.
Years.
And of course, that's the issue with that. But at the same time, it's not very legal to do a fan translation like that.
It's not your game. If we were to go in and translate a game, if we learn Japanese, like awesomely learn Japanese and went in and translated a game, there is no way that I wouldn't go to the company that made the game first and say, is this okay? Am I going to get the shit suit out of me if I release this? And
well, the idea is that they would never release it in the United States, so this was the only way that we were going to get a hold of it and be able to play it.
True, so in a way, that makes it kind of Square's issue, because if they would have
Because Square should fucking release their games over here.
If they would have released it, none of this would have ever fucking happened.
Right.
Yeah, we'd be playing the fucking game after we got done with the rest of the series, and it'd be all
seriously
good.
wasted these people's time.
Yeah, and I can
But
see...
at the same time, they wasted their own time.
Well, their leader.
The question is, did they know they were going to announce Type-0 beforehand, or did they make that announcement in haste because of the fan translation that was coming out?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean,
no one fucking knows.
Obviously, the guys who were translating it didn't think it was going to happen, or they wouldn't have wasted that much time, unless maybe the head guy of that realized, and that's why he rushed it.
Maybe.
And said, "Hey, look, we're gonna bring it out," and then they realized the ridiculousness of bringing it out on the PSP when suddenly it's available on the fucking PS4. I don't know.
That's true, and I'm sure you can still get the fan translation. It's just like it's for modded PSPs, I think.
I'm sure it's still out there in some way.
I don't know. I don't think it was a good idea to do the translation. Certainly for this story heavy of a game, apparently it's just a ginormous narrative in this game, which is why it took so long to translate it, I believe. And I don't know. It's just neither side is in the right for this one.
Yeah, I mean,
not 100% anyway.
Yeah,
certainly, I'm actually taking sides with Square Enix with this argument. But that's only because it's it's not legal for them to do what they did. If they want to make a fan translation, sure, that's fine. But I mean, you got to prepare for the consequences of that kind of thing.
Right. I do think it's kind of dickish that if Square Enix did in fact talk, collaboration with these guys, that is pretty shitty of them to do that. But it's also pretty shitty. I
don't think that actually happened.
I think
so? that doesn't sound like something a company would do.
It sounds like
especially a company with some resources as big as Square Enix.
Well,
they do their own goddamn translation.
I think,
and in fact, they have they already had people working on the English voice acting for it. The idea was that they were just not going to release it because of financial reasons. They had already had a big chunk of the English translation. Much.
I think that,
which is something they've done before with 2, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
They all had English translations ready to go, and then Square Enix said, "No, it's not financially."
It was due
to do that right now.
It was due to those ones made a little more sense because it was due to the newest console coming out.
Sure, yeah, at the same time, but it's the same situation for this. It's the PSP, right?
Yeah,
instead of the PS Vita.
But I think that a collaboration like this is a good idea, and companies do take these kind of moves. But the issue is they don't take these kind of moves and then fuck the company over that's doing it, or the group of people over by saying, "Oh yeah, we're doing it on PS4." This seems like they probably already planned on doing it.
The issue here, one of the issues here is that the company should have sent a cease and desist letter at the beginning.
When they first found out.
They shouldn't have waited. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it dickish.
Like it's also like this goes in line with the time that Square-Enix shut down the fan fiction movie or the fan movie of Final Fantasy VII, I believe. That they tried to put up on Kickstarter to do a fan movie of Final Fantasy VII, and of course Square-Enix they shut it right the fuck down. So does that mean Square-Enix is gonna do a Final Fantasy VII movie? Probably not.
I doubt they will.
But
they already have. And after Final Fantasy VII movie, and we
whatever.
saw how that went. So
yeah, that sucked ass.
why would you? We don't need a movie for a game that's already a full game. It's like maybe a prequel. Maybe a sequel like Advent Children, but there's no reason to do 7 as a movie. What?
I like the idea of doing 7 as a movie.
It would make a good
Certainly
movie.
not that fan movie that they were going to do, like a big budget something.
A bit, yeah. If it was like a big...
Directed by Ang Lee, of course.
Yeah.
If it's directed by Ang Lee, it'll usually turn out well, unless you're doing a comic book superhero movie, then a lot of people are going to get ticked about it.
Yeah.
But, no... It's just, you gotta give your fans some room to work with. I mean, there is you can do probably a short film of Final Fantasy VII on YouTube, and that'll be fine, but you can't not raise money for that project. I think that might be one of the big issues for that.
Yeah, is the funds
the fact that they're asking for people's money on a Kickstarter campaign
on something that they didn't actually create the idea for.
That's not theirs.
Yeah,
so that is taking money away from Square Enix in a way.
In a way, I guess, in
so
a really roundabout way.
That's probably what it is, and yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
There's no right, there's no wrong in this situation. There's a lot of gray. There's a lot of exactly. I think is that it for news?
I think that is it for news.
Okay, so we are going to now move on to one of our favorite segments, and we're revisiting it for the third time. Super Sexy Swingin' Fanfiction 3. We have not read it yet, so
this will be interesting.
Okay, let's get started.
Ooh, yeah, baby. I'm gonna need some swinging sexy fan fiction.
Show it all, baby. Show it all.
Girls Night In, Part 3, Chapter 3.
Tifa sat on her bed wearing a bathrobe towel, drying her hair as she looked around the room.
What's a bathrobe towel?
It's a bathrobe made out of towel material, I'm sure. They're in a hotel, so it's... I wonder if it's a scratchy towel.
Like an old one.
Yeah, an old towel.
Had it for a while. I had to dry this on the line.
Yeah. They had tracked a lot of cum throughout the room before they got to the shower. Yuffie walked out with another bathrobe on her wet hair.
She has a bathrobe on her wet hair.
Yeah.
Does she have two is she wearing a bathrobe and then she has another bathrobe on her wet hair?
Saying another implies that yes, but also saying another implies that you were talking about the subject before now, and he wasn't, so...
Yeah, whatever. A bathrobe towel.
Okay. She started drying it and sat on the other bed.
She started towel drying it.
Oh, towel drying it. Yeah. Sorry.
Which still doesn't make sense, because it's a bathrobe.
No, I know.
Shouldn't it be bathrobe drying it?
Well, either way, it's excessive wording. But, Tifa took the towel she was using.
She wasn't using a towel, she was using a bathrobe towel.
Don't you question. She looked back and saw that she had inadvertently sat in the bed while they were still covered, so neither bed was clean. Tifa sighed, I don't want to sleep in that.
Yuffie laughed. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I still can't believe Red had that much,
Tifa smiled. Yeah, felt good anyway.
Yuffie stood as an ideal hit her. What? How do ideals hit you?
I don't know. Do they hurt?
Why don't we sneak into Cloud's room and sleep there?
Tifa thought for a second. Yeah, they might not be back yet.
Our voices are too similar for these two characters. They looked at the clothing hanging in the bathroom and Yuffie sighed. Still not dry.
Tifa shrugged and walked to the door. Yuffie hurried to her by the time she got there. Tifa was already starting slowly down the hallway. Okay. Yuffie had her bathrobe tied tight so she didn't show off very much skin. Tifa
So
didn't
Yuffie
have...
is wearing a bathrobe.
Yes. It's
So where the fuck did the towel come?
It's no
The
longer on
bathroom.
her-
How many bathrobes do these people have?
Well, she was wearing one on her head, so she probably just took it down. Tifa didn't have much of a choice. Her bust showed off quite a bit of cleavage no matter what she did. As they walked down the hall, they heard steps. The two moved to a table against the wall and ducked behind it. To their surprise, the footsteps they heard were Barrett's. He grumbled, "Red messed up the whole fucking room. I'll just sleep on the floor in Cloud's room."
I'd just sleep on the floor in Cloud's room. This is horrible.
Yeah.
As he finished talking to himself, Tifa stood up.
We were thinking the same thing.
He saw the two standing in bathrobes and snickered.
I just bet you was.
They walked to the door and Yuffie cut ahead. I'm good at lockpicking.
She started silently fumbling with the lock and turned the doorknob slowly. Once she had the knob turned, Barrett walked past and
There's
pushed
nothing
the door
sexy
open.
yet. They're talking about a door now,
Oh,
Caleb.
well, the knob, it's hot. All right,
Okay.
the three walked into the room and saw Cloud sitting on the bed with the covers pulled up to his shoulders. There were a pair of feet sticking up over his shoulders, and it became evident what he was doing. Stretching. Oh, no.
Oh.
The next question was who he was doing. The answer came quickly as Eris screamed.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Tifa gasped, making Cloud and Eris stop what they were doing. Eris pulled the pillow over her head and cried,
What are you doing here?
Tifa crossed her arms under her breasts. We came to watch the show. What else?
That's a statement. There's no comma or question mark in that. We came to watch the show. What else?
Oh, yeah. Like, she wants to know what else they're going to do. It's like, come on, go.
Yuffie closed the door as she heard Tifa's snappy line. Her snappy line that was written incorrectly, by the way. She turned to see Barrett bend Tifa over and shove himself into her.
Or to put on a fucking show.
Oh my god, like, there's no warning. He just,
No.
like...
Hope she's all lubed up, or that's
Isn't
gonna
that
fucking
considered
hurt.
rape?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, probably painful if you're not expecting it.
Yeah. Or if it's just painful because of Barrett's apparently huge penis.
Yeah, it's like
according
if I
to
were
these according to these fan fiction.
It's like an
articles.
arm.
All right, Yuffie stayed to the corner and slipped her hand between her legs as she watched Tifa get surprised fucked. Oh, it's not rape. This is surprise fucked.
You're right. You're right. It's different.
Oh, yeah, totally different. Cloud had resumed his pumping, making Eris resume her moaning, though it was evident that she still didn't like other people being in the room when they had sex.
Apparently couldn't get away, so.
Oh, my God.
The pumping reminds me of 1Q84.
By Haruki Murakami, in case anyone wants to go read that.
Yeah,
book.
there's a sweet ending. Pumping. Barrett pulled Tifa's robe open and lifted her up by her thighs as he pushed into her and walked, bouncing her with each step. With each step, still one sentence, sorry, to one of the two empty beds. Yuffie had discarded her robe, and she was kneeling with her fingers buried deep in her pussy as she pumped into herself, watching the two couples going at it. Barrett turned Tifa on his dick so she was facing him. And
Oh, just like a...
yeah, like
like a...
and laid her on her back on the bed. She wrapped her legs around him and grabbed onto the bedpost as he pushed into her harder.
Are there more than one bed, or is it just one bed that they're all sharing?
There's two beds.
Oh, there's two beds?
Yeah.
Wow. So my question is, why didn't they, like... There was no question between Cloud and the other people. They were like, yeah, let's make a fuck fest. Like, there was no words exchanged, really, except for Tifa's one line.
I don't know.
I don't know. How would you feel if you were having sex and I came in and I was just like, okay, and then
And then Skode walks in and like twists his girlfriend on his penis. And,
Yeah.
like, goes for it. I'd be like,
hey guys, get the fuck out.
did the little thing on the door that said occupied mean nothing to you?
Oh my god. All right, by this point, Eris had put the pillow back under her and took hold of Cloud's shoulders as he continued pushing himself into her. Yuffie started looking around for something to put into herself, besides her hand, apparently. Doing Barrett was both a gift and a curse. Now her fingers alone weren't enough.
It was like...
She saw Eris striking staff. She saw Eris... Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my god. She saw Eris striking staff, leaning up against the wall and smiled. Cloud leaned forward and kissed Eris as Tifa moaned loudly, feeling a large cock slicing into her. Is it a razor blade cock?
Probably.
Oh my god.
Barrett felt something cold touch his sack and moaned lightly. Tifa thought he was coming into her, and after a few seconds when nothing
Tifa
happened...
thought he was coming in her.
Coming in her. Okay, fine.
Sorry.
And after a few seconds when nothing happened, she looked up in time to feel a cold rod slide into her anus.
What? Oh my god!
She heard Yuffie moan louder and felt the metal rod slide into her ass. Oh man, some sodomy here.
Oh god.
Oh man, okay. Tifa almost screamed as the cold staff. How many times is he gonna say this?
The cold
Tifa
staff.
almost screamed as the cold staff slid into her unprepared ass. Instead, they heard Yuffie scream, and Barrett felt a warm gush on his balls.
A gush of what?
I don't know. He shoved himself into Tifa as he poured his seed into her.
Oh, he felt the gush before he felt the... What? That's
I
stupid.
guess.
Okay.
Unless it was Tifa.
Tifa felt the cum rushing into her and tried to get a better look at what was poking her ass. She saw Barrett turn to his right and got a perfect view of Yuffie lying at the end of the bed with Eris' staff in her pussy. As the scene... Oh my god, this is disgusting. It's like a staff bridge.
Insertion fetish.
Oh. As the scene registered in her mind, Barrett got a hold of the staff and pushed it into Tifa's ass hard enough to push her off his dick. He started fucking her in the ass furiously with the staff and noticed the resistance on the other end had left? What? That sentence makes no sense. He started fucking her in the ass furiously with the staff and noticed the resistance on the other end had left.
That means...
On the other end had left?
On the
Instead
end.
of that the other end had left?
Yeah.
He looked to his side and saw Yuffie walk to the bed where Cloud and Eris were.
The couple had their eyes...
Should be, he looked to the side and saw Yuffie walk to the bed where Cloud and Eris is be done do.
Yeah. Okay, the couple had their eyes squeezed closed as they neared their climaxes. Yuffie hopped onto the bed
So there's some nice lovemaking going on at the same time. There's just this horrible fuckfest with the staff and the anal and the thing going on. It's disgusting.
Yeah, they're ruining something beautiful here.
Not that their sex was that great or beautiful in the last episode.
No. Okay. Yuffie hopped onto the bed and straddled Eris's face. What? Eris opened her eyes to see a young, quivering pussy in front of her.
Quivering?
Yeah, it's like...
It's scared.
Clown leaned back, staying inside Eris as Yuffie lay forward along Eris's body. When she was in position, she spread Eris's folds and pressed her lips over her clit. Eris felt Yuffie suck hard on her clit and squealed as an orgasm washed over her.
Wait, hold on. I'm confused here. So Cloud is still inside Eris, though, right?
Yeah.
Clean.
And
where's
Yuffie sits on her face.
Eris?
He's poking her.
But when she was in position, she spread Eris's folds and pressed her lips over her clit.
Okay. So Cloud, imagine.
So
Yuffie's sitting on Eris's face, and then she leans down.
Oh.
As Cloud's still pounding her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, I see.
There is room for two.
There is room for two.
Oh my god.
Oh my. She lay back panting and felt Yuffie push her hips towards her face as she continued to suck furiously. Cloud took an extra pillow and stuffed it under Eris's hips to better angle his thrusting, and Yuffie's angle on Eris.
Tifa felt the staff in her ass hit something hard. What? As Barrett pumped into her. After After a few times of bumping into the solid object, she realized Barrett had wedged it into the bed frame somehow. She looked down as he lined himself with her entrance and pushed himself back in. He could feel the hard... Okay, now we're switching the view from. He could feel the hard staff through her walls when he first went in. He sat back so his balls were resting on the shaft and started sliding into her as he pulled her down on the shaft. Tifa was in sheer bliss. She grabbed her breasts and pulled her nipples to her mouth as she took two very large objects into her hips at once.
Wow.
I'm getting sick.
Barrett leaned forward and pulled Tifa into a kiss, releasing her breasts from her mouth. Tifa hungrily responded with her own kiss, but it was completely of lust. Meanwhile, Cloud pulled out of Eris and shoved himself into Yuffie's mouth. The young ninja was... I know. It was this beautiful thing between him and Eris.
Eris didn't want anybody there, and he's like, nah, fuck you.
The young ninja was almost caught off guard, but quickly swallowed as Cloud made his way into her. Okay, Eris collapsed back onto the bed and watched helplessly as Yuffie was face-fucked.
Aww. Cloud pulled his member from Yuffie's mouth and lifted her easily so they were facing each other. He turned her so she was on top of Eris and shoved himself into her dripping entrance. Eris got a first-hand look at Yuffie getting fucked by the same dick she had, and something inside her snapped. Yeah. She pulled Yuffie full on into a kiss and grabbed one of her breasts roughly.
I wasn't expecting
That's
that
what
kind of a snap.
I thought she was gonna kill her. Okay, Yuffie reached down with both hands and started fingering Eris.
In the bed next to them, Tifa's body stiffened as her orgasm rushed over her. Again, Barrett pulled out of her and positioned himself above her waist. He proceeded to squeeze his load out onto his stomach and pubic hair before lying down next to her. Tifa leaned to her side and kissed him again before dozing off with Eris' staff still lodged in her ass.
It's time for bed.
Nap time.
When Cloud saw Barris come on Tifa, it sent him over the edge. What? He's like,
he's
yeah.
gonna start making out with fucking Barrett.
God. No. Eris and Yuffie were kissing and rubbing their pussies against each other. Cloud pulled out of Yuffie. Wait, how? How are they? What? How is this happening?
Now that's not possible.
Okay, because they were rubbing their pussies against each other, so scissor sex, right? How is Cloud even in there?
Well, it could just mean each other. They're just even then.
No, they were rubbing their pussies against each other.
Each other's pussies or each other's bodies?
But Cloud is still inside of...
Either way, it's going to be really hard. One way, it's impossible, and one way, it's, pretty bullshit.
Oh, no, he was in Yuffie's mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, God.
He was face-fucking her.
I hate fucking discussing this shit. Okay, pussies against each other. Cloud pulled out of Yuffie and slid between the two girls' pussies. What? Okay, now I have an image. He pushed their torsos together as he poured his load between them on their abdomens. He collapsed on the two and rolled off to the side. Yuffie did the same, wedging herself between Eris and Cloud.
Eris pulled herself over Yuffie and straddled Cloud briefly. She pushed him onto herself and relaxed on his chest, laying in his arms with him in her. She looked up at him and smiled weakly.
I love you.
He held her tighter and pulled her into a kiss. When they separated, he pulled the blanket over them. I love you too.
He should have just said, I know.
Don't worry about it.
God. Oh, that was kind of a short one.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting more anal rod.
Oh, that was disgusting. Though.
I was not expecting that, honestly.
This one was worse written than the other two. Also, each subsequent one that he brings out, he takes a little less time proofreading, I think.
Well,
that first paragraph was just a mess.
Yeah, and we read it like we're simpletons because we're not sure if we're going to read it the right way or... I don't know, we got to stop overanalyzing it and just read it as it's written.
It's horrible.
It is. It's
or like Tifa asking a question and it's like a statement.
Yeah.
He does that a lot.
He does. How does this have 27...
I like how this is what we're talking about, not the content in it.
How does this have 27,000 hits? Fuck you.
No idea. When did this come out? Is there a date?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing one.
I don't see a date.
We could probably ask him and get like a 20-paragraph thing about how he doesn't want to be one of those fans and that the fans are this and this and he's not that.
Oh my god. So yeah, if you wanted to read along with us or if you want to take a look at this shit yourself, it's at adult-fanfiction.org. Go to Final Fantasy, go to Final Fantasy VII, threesomes/moresomes, and the story's called Girls Night In, and this was part 3.
Chapter 3.
Titled Chapter 3, yes. It's horrible. It's like no thought went into this one.
Yeah, well, the thing about there
was also there was like no dialogue in this one, and then not that this is important for this kind of a thing, I'm sure, for people who actually get off on this shit. There's no dialogue, and the fact that they just go in there and start fucking when Cloud and Aerith are going at each other privately
is just weird.
It's so fucking weird. Like, there's no, I don't know, the character development there is just non-existent. It's simply for whatever the effect is.
So now we're critiquing smut. If it's gonna be that, and it's gonna be,
it better be good. There better be character development, a theme. There better be a reason for all this. Yeah, motifs.
Yeah.
There's an ass motif.
There's
a lot of cum in all of these.
Yeah, it's symbolic.
It's symbolic
of life.
Of life.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, leads to life, I guess.
Oh my god. And Barrett's just raping everything.
He is.
Barrett is a rapist.
He is feral. He's
a piece of shit in these stories. Barrett is, oh my god, he's so disgusting.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that we're sitting here critiquing his writing, which is good. He needs to learn how to write, but I mean, even a first draft of anything should never be this horribly written. Like, how can you even come up with that?
I don't know. Maybe he's like 13 and he just has some weird fantasies.
Oh god.
Isn't that a horrible thing to think about?
It might be the case, though. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see here. All he says about this one is he says, part 3 out of the way. I guess that's all he felt about it. I know it was a bit shorter than the others, but there wasn't much content other than sex anyway. R&R, if there's anything you want to see, let me know. Like, did anyone say they wanted Yuffie to use Aerith's staff?
I wonder.
Maybe.
Maybe they're gonna have.
He has more hits on his fucking thing than we get on our on our episodes.
Yeah, I don't know about that being legit.
Oh my god. Oh, I found a review page for this shit. Not just the one that we've read before either. So He says, I started a topic for reviews rather than using the review function on stories, mainly because I can't respond to reviews. So those were the reviews we read. But he has a whole different page. Now I have to look at this shit. Let's read a couple of these here. Okay. You could use bitch for descriptive purposes when it comes to Red in terms of him mating with the girls, for example. Red had Tifa. Who gives a shit? Red and Tifa nodded like a bitch recently, filling her with all of his cum and holding it inside her like that, in the way of comparing the girls to female dogs as they mate with Red or get taken by him. Why not have Tifa get pregnant from all of that cum Red filled her with?
Oh, maybe because they're a different fucking species,
and that doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Although, why
does someone give a shit if Kanzen refers to them as bitches?
Who knows?
It's like, in sex, we have to call all women bitches, right?
Well, the funny thing is
that stupid fucking comment from Mr. Guest's Unusual Desires.
What's interesting about that is if he actually cared about how women were treated, he wouldn't be reading this fan fiction about how women are raped in this shit.
Oh my god.
So, that's his issue?
So the issue that Kanzen had put is that people were complaining about his order of shit. And here's one of the comments on them. It says, what the fuck are you talking about? What happens when you remotely follow the locations and the characters are infinitely out of character? Who gives a fucking shit? I mean, we're making fun of it just because we're making fun of it and we're doing this thing, but like, people actually give a shit about their adult fan fiction?
I guess. I mean,
who the fuck is out there? And let me just punch him in the fucking face. God.
Yeah,
it's disgusting smut. What do you just go on to the next thing if you give a shit about what order things are in this guy's universe, whatever.
And I mean, Barrett's kind of accurate, except for he's not raping everybody in 7. He doesn't get any action in 7, actually.
Okay, so this is from Kanzen. I could have sworn I replied to this post, which is the one that I just read. I will admit that I have been basically roting, WROTING, from memory as for the old order of the story. So the group shouldn't have bet Sid yet. What?
This must be later.
Oh my god. I knew to begin with that I would be deviating from the story at some point, since Eris would either have to die and stay dead or die and be brought back as was initially planned for FF7. Although in my defense I have never said that it wasn't AU. What is AU?
I don't know.
Okay. Not to sound stuck up, but if you're so sure you could do it better, by all means go for it. This site exists because of both readers and writers. Sorry, I'm having hiccups.
I've been by with school, BUY.
What?
Applications for internships and grad school. Finals are coming up.
What?
I don't know how much I will get when...
What the fuck?
When I don't know how much I will get written, since my followers of my other...
Fix are wanting new chapters also. This guy is applying for grad school?
Yeah, see, this goes with one of my theories that...
fuck?
Going to school doesn't necessarily make you smarter. Like,
no,
stupid people graduate.
I'm pretty sure he didn't get into grad school, is what I'm seeing here.
Well, I'll have to find out.
Well, because you gotta write, like, fucking, like, you know, essays and shit.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of liberal arts stuff.
And that stuff, and you gotta have at least a 3.7 GPA to go into grad school.
Yeah, that's...
So, what is it? What is he... Oh, my God. I'm just gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill this guy, actually.
And then yourself.
Oh my god. This is... Oh my god.
Okay,
so someone else like freaked out on him about this. There's a whole lot of drama on this page.
Yeah, over something terrible.
Okay. The first, that's... I have been basically writing, not roting. That word doesn't even exist. I'm skipping the other errors. They are probably typing errors. Aerith, yes, it's officially Aerith. Whatever, I call her Aerith. Why would it be Aerith?
That's what her name
You
was.
motherfuckers, why would it be Aerith? No. It's totally Ares. Because of, like, you know, the symbolism that goes with it. Not Aerith. Aerith is a made-up name. And you know that, like, in Japanese, it's got to be Arisu. So it would make more sense to be Eris.
It was originally Aerith, though. I call her Aerith sometimes, too.
Yeah,
just because
should be Ares.
It should, because of the symbolism with the fucking series as a whole.
Eris was never planned to be... I'm going to call her Eris. Fuck you. Was never planned to be brought back. There is officially deep meaning behind it, and it would make her death meaningless.
Official. Yeah, oh, yeah, okay.
Officially deep meaning behind
They don't
her
care
death.
if it's meaningless. They will bring you back in these fucking games.
That's true, yeah. We've recognized that with number 4.
Yeah, everyone but the cool guy.
Yeah. Though I'm guessing there where this misinformation comes from. Shut up. He just gave shit about this guy fucking typing shit wrong, and he can't fucking type either. Anyway, I think you didn't get what I said or meant. Try and read this all. It's not just deviating from the story. The characters in your story have nothing to do with the original characters of the FF7 story, hence out of character. I'm not even talking, with a capital T, about details. None of them is promiscuous. You mean are promiscuous, sir? None of them is be promiscuous.
Yeah.
People who just fuck randomly with other people. They would not fuck friends, random people, or engage in an orgy, especially not Tifa. She is demure and modest times infinity. And modest times infinity. Confirmed by the official sources like Final Fantasy Ultimanias.
Yeah, official sources.
It took the seemingly end of the world and the love of her life, Cloud, to not just confirm his love to her, but make serious effort to prove it. High affection points if you don't now. If you don't now. What the fuck? If you don't know, maybe?
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Okay, forgot a K. Until she gave up her virginity. if even that happens at all, not 100% confirmed.
Not confirmed, but obvious.
Not confirmed. Yeah, there's the nice fade out.
Yeah, that is what it is.
We talked about this on a previous episode. There's a fade out, and that's what that means sex. As always, in visual storytelling, that's what that means. If two people are together and they kind of look at each other and then it fades out, yeah, something goes on.
Yeah.
Let's see, where am I? Talia gave up, even if that 100%. Followed by serious blushing and embarrassment in front of her other friends the next morning because she thought they might have been watching. If that tells you something, and it is confirmed too. What?
He's saying it's confirmed they had sex. Which
He's saying it's not 100. Well, he just said it wasn't 100% confirmed.
I know it's.
Fuck this hater. Like, we're haters, but this guy's a dick.
Well, this guy's an idiot.
This is just to give you an example of how far away you are from the original characters. And then talking about minor details like when/how you use fuck or the C word, I'm not going to say it, while your fan depiction of the characters are definitely out of character is practically unintentional satire. Look it up if you don't now. He said it again.
How wait. Unintentional satire? That doesn't exist.
I don't think this was satire.
I don't think unintentional satire is possible.
Oh, in case you guys don't know, I don't say the C word. It's like it's like the one thing I won't say, and I've never said it, so it's like, I don't know.
When he says it, I'll make sure to record it and throw it on here and be like, liar!
I thought I might have said it like the first time, but it was you. Like, I had to listen to the episode again because it says the C word in the
did I
first
seriously
episode.
say that?
And, we were reading comments last time.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, I thought I had read that comment. Like, in my mind, I was like, no, I actually said it. And then you had said it. And I was like, oh, okay. No, I'm still good.
Oh, it's okay if he says it. He's a degenerate.
Well, the reason I did that, and I've explained this to you, I saw this, like, news report thing about this one, like, murderer dude who had, like, apparently cleaned up his act and married this one lady, and then he got abusive. And then one of the things that was really abusive is that he would call her the C word. And she was really upset by it. And so, like, that image, I must have watched that thing when I was like 10 or 11 or something like that. And so the idea of saying the C word to me is it's an abusive thing. And so I never said it. Ever. I've never said it. And I don't know. It's just something that stuck with me. It may be a little weird to other people, but considering I say everything else on the fucking planet, and we'll read these things.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I won't say the C word. I don't want to make it a habit. Like, I also don't say bitch very often either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. I never said that it was an AU, which I still don't know what that means. Is not a good argument. Imagine I would say you can't prove I didn't save your life while you were sleeping. That would be very convincing. Would it? See, now this guy's writing is just terrible. If it's an AU, what the fuck is an AU? Do you know? Have you figured this out yet?
I don't know, like impromptu.
Oh, wait. I got this. Alternate universe.
Oh.
I got it. If it's an alternate universe, and it is a fan of alternate universe, a very different one character-wise. What? You should tell it as a writer. To be honest, it bothered me that you talk about your story as if it were true to the characters, which it is not. As a genuine FF7 fan who is fond of the original FF7 story and who respects the characters, I would appreciate it if you would at least put a disclaimer. This is an OOC AU story written for fun. God, people, just write it the fuck out. I'm having troubles with it. I hate this aspect of the internet. It's just the fucking shortening of everything, and I have to use a goddamn like dictionary to look this shit up. Like, what does the OOC stand for? This is an OOC AU story written for fun. The characters are out of character. Maybe followed by, this is just a kinky fan fantasy written for fat purposes only. No. And it's not intended to make any sense besides that. Yes, I'm straightforward like that. XD. That's a smiley face. Okay. Jokes aside, ignorant people might and can get confused by what you wrote and believe it because you're talking about it as if you were genuine. Who would look up this shit if they didn't know Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, who was going to be like, oh yeah, that happened. I remember that part.
Yeah,
the cum all over the hallway, right?
Exactly. And the
you slip in it, and
right. Oh my god!
And then her wearing the bathrobe as a towel on her head. Yeah, I remember that. That's coming back.
Oh my god, which is then go elsewhere and talk utter nonsense bullshit, annoying other people. Who the fuck is gonna look at this adult fan fiction and be like, dudes, did you know in Final Fantasy VII that they all fucked each other at the Gold Saucer? Did you know that? Well, there's nothing in the game that says that. This is fan fiction. So someone went out and took a detour.
Yeah.
What the fuck ignorant people is this guy talking about?
I don't know. And
he's the ignorant motherfucker that actually thinks that those people exist.
How could you be? It's a fake story. There is no sense of ignorance whatsoever.
The only people who can make an official Final Fantasy story come from the company Square-Enix. They're the only ones who can actually add or subtract from that story. They're the only ones that have the right to do that.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, so what is this? I don't know. The fan fiction is to appease fans. Fans who already know this shit.
Right.
This guy is just...
Who know it's bullshit.
This guy is just pulling an argument out of his ass. Which is not... Then go elsewhere and talk out non-official bullshit about other people. A fan fiction tries either to be true to the story or is alternate universe and out of character for fun. In any case, this one is just a naughty, kinky fan fantasy, that's all. It is not genuine to the characters. There's no point in pretending as if it were. The characters are infinitely out of character in your story. Minor details do not change that. Wow, he's repeating his thesis statement. That's interesting. I wasn't suggesting that, but while we are talking about it, I cannot just write a better story. I can actually write an authentic story, which is faithful to the story and the characters. I can novelize the story while adding a genuine storyline. Though if I do that, it would not fit the site probably. It would not fit the site probably, by the way, is actually what he wrote. There would not be sex, except between Cloud and Tifa, maybe. And maybe later Sid/Shara and Red 13/Dena. Red 13's girlfriend, and probably the mother of the puppies at the end of FF8? He just put FF8.
There were no puppies.
There were no puppies at the end of FF8. Yeah. Which, again, can be written naughty.
There was only Zool.
Harsh as it may be what I write, see it as a constructive criticism from a genuine FF7 fan, even though he just put that Red 13 had puppies at the end of FF8.
Yeah, a genuine
FF7 fan who knows a bit of something. He knows a bit of something, Caleb. Did you know that? He knows a bit of something!
I sure as fuck know it now. I will never forget.
And if you look closely at the FF7 story, you too would come to that conclusion. I probably wouldn't mind your story if you actually put a disclaimer that the characters are not like in your story, which is just a fan fantasy for fun. No shit, motherfucking Sherlock. Otherwise, it reads like a bunch of lies and insults, and that is not fun. Nonetheless, I wish you luck with your school/studies and internship applications. TLDR, but it's worth it? I don't know what that means.
Tit, long, dirty rag. No, what I think is funny is, like, consider it constructive criticism from a Final Fantasy fan and fellow illiterate.
Who is, by the way, like, taking out this guy's thing. You know, I say, when we talk about this guy's writing, I say it in jest, because I know if you go on our website, there's gotta be some spelling errors and shit on there that I didn't look at. Whatever. I know it's a mistake thing, and it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of funny, and it's okay to, like, make fun of that, but to call this guy out on it is...
And then fuck up.
Yeah, and then fuck up.
Like horribly. Like, worse than probably the Kanzen.
Oh, my God. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Kanzen's back. He says, thanks for the criticism. As you probably noticed from my error-filled last post, I don't really have a ton of free time. Not even to proofread simple stuff like my own post. Especially not enough time to do the kind of writing you're suggesting. Oh, okay, this is Kanzen actually talking about what we're talking about. That being said, let's make it official. I don't have time to keep this fic going, so its next chapter is shelved indefinitely. Nice. If anyone wants to pick up, keep writing, feel free. Whichever post this was. This is probably after chapter. I think this goes to 5 chapters or something? I don't know.
No, it's like 10.
All right, so he has a later edit. Since I won't be making any more FF7 fics, and OOC seems to think she or he can do better. No, wait. He says he can do it better. Go for it. When it's written, send me a link so I can read it. Not out of spite or anything, just a push to get a writer in my place for this FF7 community. This may sound a bit odd, but you can write and put your work out in the public, but you choose not to, then you cannot write. I don't know if that's...
It did sound odd. He was right.
For every 10 people who say or think that they can write, be it a novel, story, poem, or fanfic, few of them actually write and post their work on websites like this. I guess that's true. I've known a lot of people who say they can write in the same way people say they should work out. It's only ever going to be an intention to them. Will that be the case for you? That's actually a good argument from Kanzen.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah. So Kanzen says, still waiting to see your okay, so this is later. He says, still waiting to see your chapter since you seem to think you can do better with a fic. Do you not understand that saying that you can do better without actually posting something is the same as an alcoholic saying they can quit drinking if they want to, but continuing to drink?
Continuing, baby.
But continuing to drink?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then someone responded to the one where he was bitching just barely and said, I ask you kindly to continue your story. It's refreshing, arousing, and inspiring. It's a story for
quotes,
fun.
inspiring in quotes.
Yeah, inspiring. Yeah, so he's being a dick probably. It's a story for fun, so don't let yourself spoiled by critics.
You're awesome in writing erotic fan fiction.
Okay.
You're
awesome in.
Wow. So those are the comments on his discussion page. I kind of want to email Kanzen and say, hey, we've been doing your, like, I gave him an email that was like, hey, we read your one fan fiction, right? That's all I put. But I kind of want to tell him, hey, we've been doing like this continuous series on this thing. And we'd like some input. And we'd certainly like him to continue his story so he can keep reading it.
Yeah, well, wasn't there, I think there was more parts to it.
Yeah, there are more parts to it. I mean, he has, obviously those comments are from later on. Yeah, oh, wait, okay. Officially, there are 7 chapters, so we still got 4 more. The next chapter is called Where's Sid?
Oh, yes. We know where Sid is.
And then chapter 5 is Cleanup Time. That's disgusting. Chapter 6 is Payment, and chapter 7 is The Buggy.
Oh, man. Some car sex. I do enjoy the buggy.
Oh, my God. Okay, so I think that ends it for Swingin' Sexy Fan Fiction this week. Next week, we're going to decide what to do in the meantime.
Yeah.
We have to sit down and plan our next episode here. Other than that, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Make sure you listen to us next week. We should have an episode posted either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's always one of those days. Usually Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it should be Wednesday.
What day do you have off work next week?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. So we'll have an episode up by Wednesday night at least. And then...
keep playing along with us if you are. We're
that's true.
Partway into 5. So
I'm about 2 hours into 5, and you're about 4, right?
Yeah, 4, almost 5.
Okay.
So
we should have 5 done within the next. I think we set a date for 3 weeks, so 2 more weeks is what we're planning on. Of course, 4 we went a week over.
So I think we should go.
And with 3 we went a week over. Well, I didn't go a week over. You did.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can look at our videos online. We're going to have Let's Play videos on at least Final Fantasy XI and hopefully Final Fantasy XIV here soon, if you want to follow us on YouTube. You can find us at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/ultimafinalfantasy, where we ask you to like our page. You can go to Twitter and follow us at UFF Podcast.
We're gonna get better at the Twitter.
We're fine at the we post plenty of. At least I post plenty of stuff.
I'm starting to post stuff like the what was it, the nut thing?
Yeah, the nut eater.
Nut eater, yeah, that was
from
me.
Final Fantasy V.
That's a really weird thing to fight. If anything, you should accept it for what it is.
Anyway, make sure you subscribe to us via iTunes, Stitcher, Podbay FM, or YouTube. Whatever you listen to us on, please subscribe to us so that you can listen to the new episodes. As the show keeps going, we are getting better, and we're pretty proud of the show right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. And you got anything else to say, Caleb?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for listening. 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 you very much